Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to use an MYP rubric with Schoology assessments. One of the great things about Schoology assessments is they're self-grading, but doesn't always correspond with an MYP rubric. All right, so there's some pros and cons here. Now, they're self-grading. You can weight the questions. You can set a point total regardless of the number of questions. So for example, you can have 42 questions, but make it 10 points or 8. Now, there's also multiple question options. Unfortunately, it does not convert nicely to an MYP scale. Those assessments can be case sensitive, and you can adjust the grade questions in Schoology, but sometimes it still looks incorrect. So there's some great things about Schoology grading assignments, and unfortunately the back end isn't so great when using MYP. So how can we do this? I'm going to show you a few different strategies that may make your life a little bit easier when dealing with Schoology assessments and MYP grading. Okay, so one of the issues with the assessment feature is it may not correlate to an MYP grade that you would like. Now, one of the things that you can do is adjust your assessment here to 8 points. Now, what that will do, so I have a 26 question quiz here. It'll take 21 out of 26, convert that to a percent, and then spit that out as the equivalent out of a 8-point question quiz. Problem with that is it may not be the MYP grade you want to give your students. So while changing this to the 8 is probably not the best suggestion, it'll work, but this is where people are seeing a grade inflation and may not be what you want. So what can you do? So one of the things that you can do is just create your assessment how you normally would. However many questions there are on it, it'll automatically calculate the points, and you can go through and grade those students' work. So here's what I mean. So if I look at Jen Lawson, she got 17 out of 26. She needs to step up her math game, if you ask me. However, Molly did pretty well. So what I can do is I can go through this student's test, hit the completed section, and see which questions they answered right, which ones they answered wrong, and give them an MYP score based on how I feel they did on the quiz. Now, this is a leveled assessment. So my 1-2 questions are questions 1 through 8. My level 3-4 questions are questions 9 through 15. So I can look through each question and decide what grade I'd like to give that student. So what do I do next? So here's what I've done. In Schoology, I've got my self-grading quiz, and then I have an assignment. I created an assignment, went to add materials, add assignment, and created an assignment called Assessment Chapter 3 Final Grade. Now it says upload all work shown here. Be sure to neatly number each problem and circle your answer. So you can have students upload work here if you'd like, or you can just leave it blank to give them a grade. Now, what I've done is I've created an assessment category, and I have scored their work based on an MYP scale, and I've given them a grade, and I just wrote it on. I printed out a sheet from MyStar and wrote down the grade on a separate sheet of paper. And so I've clicked Criterion A, Knowledge, and then what I'm going to do from there is go to my grade book. Now I want to show you 2 things here. So as you can see, both of these assignments are here. So I've got my self-grading quiz, and I have my assessment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give Jen a 3. I'm going to give Molly a 6. And now they have their MYP grade. Let me show you what that looks like on their end. So right now, Molly has an A-. I have put in the assessment chapter 3 final grade. That was a Schoology assignment. Now, my chapter 3 self-grading quiz, I've created a separate category called assessment component, not counted towards grade. Now, the only problem with this shows up and it can be confusing to parents. So here's another option. If you go into your grade book, or actually we're going to go right into that assignment. So I'm going to go into here, I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to give it a category of ungraded. Save changes. Now, here's the problem. The score there is gone. So if I look at ungraded, you'll notice that score is gone. When I go back to Molly, the only thing that you will see now is the assessment chapter 3 final grade. But the grade really isn't gone. What I can do to find the student's grade, even though it's no longer posted in the gradebook, is I can go ahead and click on that assessment. When I do that, it's going to pop up the grading, and here is their scores. So it's no longer posted in the gradebook, but it's still attached to the assessment, so you can go ahead and look at any point in time. So I'm signed in here as Molly. I can still access the test to see what I did right and wrong, assuming that I've set it up for review. So I can still see this attempt score. I can still see how I did because I left those options open on the assessment. But when I go to the grades, you will notice that it's no longer there. So using the Schoology ungraded option might be your best bet. So if you've got any questions, let me know. Have a great day.